Hello and welcome back to another Ask Jack segment for the Entourage community. This is my opportunity to directly answer your questions about business, life, purpose and everything in between. So let's jump in to this week's 3 questions. The first question comes from Glenn Malanta, who asked, Jack, how do you stay motivated and turn an idea into something? I have loads of ideas and then I turn my rational, scared brain on and fear kicks in. Great question, Glenn. I think every person on the planet can relate to this emotion. Here's what I want you to do. Every time you have a good idea, take 2 Panadol, lie down and hope it goes away. The reason is because entrepreneurship and creating something great is purely about execution. The number one barrier to growth we see in startup businesses is that often early stage entrepreneurs have too many ideas and either chase all of them, or worse yet, don't chase any of them because we have choice paralysis. We don't know which direction to head in. Here's what I want you to do. Pick one idea and stick with it. See it through. Give it time to grow. Give it time to see it flourish, and give it that amount of time necessary where it's either going to flourish or it's not. But that's usually a year or 2, not a month or 2. Here's what I want you to do. 2 things. Number 1, listen to the audio book called Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield. And number 2, get along to one of our entrepreneur unconventions where we help entrepreneurs, existing businesses grow even larger, but we'll also help early stage entrepreneurs like yourself pick one idea, hit the ground running with an actionable checklist of the things you need to do to give your idea the chance to flourish. I hope that is a meaningful answer to your question. Number 2 this week comes from Samuel Cito, who says, hi Jack, how does one with no big reputation like yours get speaking gigs? Is there a bridging hosts and speakers, etc., etc.? Samuel, I'm going to flip that question on its head by answering this. I think you need to start by building your own audience. My questions for you are, who are you speaking to? How are you speaking to the hearts and minds of these people? How are you reaching these people with something meaningful to say? Now, that might be blogs, videos, checklists, ebooks, books, whatever it might be. But if you can organically get your name out there by saying something meaningful and saying something that makes people go, wow, the rule of thumb is if you can make someone go, wow, 3 times, you're positioned in their mind, they're going to want to share your stuff. So find something meaningful to speak about, meaningful according to your audience, and then let that grow virally from the inside out. Once you have an audience of yourself, speaker bureaus, media, all of that sort of stuff, they start to come to you. Start by doing it yourself. You are your own champion in this game, and therefore you need to give yourself the platform, and then the other people like book publishers and everything else will start to recognize you and they'll start knocking on your door. Third question for this week comes from David Bobis. His Twitter hashtag is @DavidBobis, B-O-B-I-S. Hey Jack, what are some practical tips to best approach and pitch businesses to the media? David, really good question. Why is it a really good question? Because so many people get it wrong. Most press releases read XYZ company has just launched. We're excited about XYZ company because of XYZ. If you want to speak to XYZ company about XYZ company, contact us at xyz.com. And the problem with that approach is that it's all about us. One of the most important lessons I ever learned in PR about 6 years ago was, Jack, nobody cares about Jack. You need to get over yourself and start talking to an existing issue. So my advice to you is this. Find an existing issue that is currently, today, topical and current in the marketplace, meaning it is getting press on TV, radio, newspaper. All of the media outlets are talking about a particular issue that can be drawn back, that is relevant to your message and what you have to say. Once you've found that existing issue, you have 2 choices. You can yes and, or you can yes but, meaning we've got this issue and here's something new that I'm going to bring to the table that hasn't been highlighted yet in the existing media stories. Or here's the issue and I'm going to say yes, but here's a counter argument that the traditional media or the different parties that are privy to this debate haven't contributed yet, and this is my view backed up with stats and facts. So find an existing issue that is currently topical, better yet controversial in the media, and speak to that with a yes and or a yes but. If you do that, you will kick some serious butt in the media, particularly because as a young entrepreneur, you're already the exception to the rule. Media want to hear from you. They just need to hear it in a story that's going to be meaningful for their audience. find an existing issue, and you'll find that relevance and you'll find that meaning for them. Guys, if you want to pose questions to me to be answered during these Ask Jack segments, hit us up using the hashtag AskJackD, or hit me up personally on Twitter with my Twitter address @JackDelosa, and I look forward to answering more of your questions in the next segment of Ask Jack.